Now, Natasha, you got into the U.S. Marine Corps several years ago, but in a very roundabout sort of way. Tell me that story.
My cousin Tommy, she had signed up for all the branches of service to get information.
Mm-hmm.
So my cousin Tommy was living with us, and we had got all the recruiters calling our house, and she said, you know, Natasha, tell them I'm on vacation, tell them I'm not here.
She changed her mind.
She had buyer's remorse, as she did.
Yeah.
And she said, so the only recruiter that asked about me was the Marine Corps. And I said, well, I'm too young. And they said, how old are you? And I said, 17. He goes, I'll be at your house tomorrow at 2:15. And I tried leaving the house early. But Marines are 15 minutes prior, and he got me. And he said, give me 5 minutes of your time and I'll change your life. Took him 2.
And it really did change your life.
Yes, ma'am, it did.
Tell me about your service. You went into the Marine Corps, and then what?
I joined in October of 1999. It was a very humbling experience for me because I was 17, and in all my infinite 17-year-old wisdom, I thought I knew everything. Turns out I didn't know much. No, boot camp, Parris Island was a very good experience for me. I served 12 years. I did 2 tours in Iraq. It was a good fit for me. I was a Marine. They wanted me to show up, work hard, play hard, and I could assimilate to that because it was everything that I wanted to be. I was able to travel. I was able to meet beautiful people. I was able to see things that I never thought possible coming from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
What was your job overseas? What did you specialize in?
I was kind of a jack of all trades, but master of none. I started off as a bulk fueler, refueling aircrafts, anything that needed fuel. But I wasn't too thrilled with that, so I kind of grew where I was planted, and it turned out I had a real niche for, I did everything from hazmat to administration. Turned out I was really good at administration, and I was hand-selected to be the company gunnery sergeant for an explosive ordnance disposal company. So I deployed my second deployment at that capacity in 2007.
So when you returned home, what were your feelings when you got back? It sounds like a lot of veterans feel like their mission isn't over, and somehow you found mission continues.
Well, when I got home, I volunteered for recruiting duty. My second deployment proved to be a little tumultuous. We had lost a lot of our Marines, and I didn't want my mind to idle, so I volunteered for recruiting duty. Very, very demanding billing. And I gave birth to my son in 2009, May. I was medically separated from the Marine Corps shortly after he was born. When I got medically separated, my world stopped. It was very hard dealing with that.
What does it mean, medically separated?
Well, I was diagnosed with skin cancer, Lyme disease, and I had my right knee reconstructed, all in a period of 6 months. So I had the rug pulled out from underneath me, and I had an infant. It was at that point that I realized that my career was over. I had been a Marine for 12 years. It was who I was. It was the very stitching and the fabric of my character. And I loved being a Marine. It was all I knew how to, it was the only thing I knew how to do. So I was 31, I was a single mother, and I had to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up, and it wasn't easy. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and depression and anxiety, and I didn't want to function. I stopped functioning, actually. And I came across the Mission Continues from my brother, who's also an alumni with the Mission Continues. His name is Julian Hadamio. And he said, Natasha, you got to look into them. And I said, but I don't want to, because I was feeling really sorry for myself, and I didn't want to do nothing. And he made me promise them, and I did. And then they had a really awesome recruiter named Tiffany Garcia, and she kind of stalked me to put my application in. I wouldn't say stalk. She professionally developed me.
That's better.
She professionally developed me to get my application in, and I needed that push. And I submitted my application, and I was, accepted to be a fellow with the Mission Continues.
Were you excited at that point, or a little bit afraid of what was to come?
I was apprehensive at first. I researched the organization online. I didn't know. At that point, I thought, what did I have to lose? I mean, it had to be better than sitting on my couch not feeling sorry for myself. I was still going through a lot of medical treatment for my medical issues. And I figured out at worst case scenario, it would buy me some time to figure out what I wanted to do with myself.
So you successfully completed the program when?
I finished my program July 6th.
So just this summer, in 2012, July 2012, you
July
finished the
2012,
program.
yes.
And what are you doing now?
July 14th or July 16th, they offered me a full-time position with the Mission Continues. So I'm on staff as a staff member with the Mission Continues. I am actually a recruiter for the Mission Continues. I cover the Northeast and Southeast regions looking for veterans just like myself. Ironic, I recruited for the Marine Corps, and I'm recruiting for the Mission Continues. Looking for people who need this opportunity just as much as I did.
Mission Continues was truly a life changer for you.
Yes, it absolutely was. They believed in me. And what really resonated with me for the Mission Continues is there's no shortage of organizations out there that are really trying to engage veterans, but what really stood out about the Mission Continues was the fact it was their tagline. It says it's not a charity, it's a challenge. And I didn't need a coffee cup, and I didn't need someone, and God bless, thank you to those organizations who do that. I'm very grateful. But what I needed was someone to tell me that I'm as needed, that I am a tangible asset to my community, and to push me to stop feeling sorry for myself and push me to engage in my community. And they provide a myriad of outreach services to all the veterans in our local community. There's not much they don't do. Mm-hmm. They have food pantry, they provide legal services, they help veterans with their claim with the VA, they have a residential community that they provide transitional housing for veterans who need that. They have counseling, they have yoga for veterans that need yoga. They do everything. It's a meeting space. So what I did there was I assisted in the VWIP office, which stands for Veterans Workforce Investment Program. It was a Department of Labor grant, and I helped the veterans with their resumes. I helped, especially the Vietnam era, a lot of them didn't know how to navigate the internet. There was that generational gap, and I would help them with their resumes, help them search on the internet for jobs, and anything that they need me to do. I'd help with food pantry, I'd help build stuff, I'd rake the lawn.
It feels good to help someone.
Yes, it did.
You put your mind on them and not so much on you. I would imagine with your personality and your background and your story, it is not tough to recruit new people. Or is it? Do you have your challenges?
I would say no, because I believe in it. Mm-hmm. If someone told me to go out and sell glass, I would probably have a hard time. But when it comes to something like the Marine Corps, I love the Marine Corps. I know what it did for me. And I'm not the same person that I was a year ago. And so I know what the Mission Continues can do. I actually just recruited my baby sister. She'll be here this evening as well. Her name is Guinevere. And she's just became a Delta Class Fellow. So she was just in Dallas, Texas with us this past weekend. So she's a Delta Class Fellow. It's easy for me to share information about something that I'm so passionate about.
Some people come home and they wind up, physically scarred in one way or the other, but there's almost always some kind of an invisible scar. Does that apply to you?
Yes, it does. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. I do have a service dog. His name is Joshua. He's not here today because he's sick, so I left him home for his benefit. Mm-hmm. Very difficult transitioning. You feel like when I transitioned from service, I found myself isolating, not communicating with people who've loved me all my life, and I felt like they couldn't relate to me, understand me, communicate with me. And I'm a professional communicator. It's what I did for a living. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the benefits of being a part of an organization such as the Mission Continues, because it brought me back to that military culture and that environment, that community. I was able to re-engage other veterans and have that commonality and that bond. And I appreciated that, people who experienced the same things, and I had lost that. And they brought us all together, and we're all doing things for the greater good. It makes you feel wonderful. It feels like you're changing the world. So yes, we do struggle, but that doesn't mean that we're not capable of full-time employment. We are capable. You would be amazed at what we're capable of doing. like the Mission Continues believes in us. You put 80 of our fellows, you should see the service projects that we do. Like just this past week, and we were in Dallas, Texas, and we rehabbed the Trinity River corridor, and there were 73 fellows out there working, taking out trash, moving 100-pound logs, and we're dedicated, and we're an amazing asset to the community, regardless of the trials and tribulations that we've been through. So yes, while we do carry a little extra luggage, maybe from one veteran speaking to the civilian population, just have a little patience.
So this is truly an organization you can grow with.
Yes, and I wanted to thank them for believing in me, not only for giving me a job, but they reminded me that, that sometimes it rains so we can have rainbows, and they're my rainbow.